Scorpio, and finish off with Pisces. And after all of the readings are complete, I will be putting timestamps down below. And if you ever feel like you want to see the timestamp start at a different point, I apologize. Somebody is falling down the stairs outside, apparently. I hope they're okay. If you have timestamp corrections, please do feel free to post them down below. And hopefully he's done blowing out there. I thought he was done, so I got started. But this is Florida water, and I use it to clear the space for the water sign readings. I try to use elementally appropriate methods of clearing for each sign on the appropriate day. I do the water sign readings on Mondays because Monday is associated with the celestial body of the moon, one of our luminaries, and thus would have a water sign association and correspondence. And I am stalling a little bit for time because they're being a little bit loud outside still, and I'm hoping that they will stop. Go ahead and clear the space. And it really does smell quite lovely. There's a hint of licorice root in here and honeysuckle, and the combination of those two is just very beautiful. And a softer, kind of less earthy Florida water than the Murray and Lanham, which is also very useful. That would be more like a traditional. So let me show the tools that I will be using this week as well. This is the Luminous Void Tarot, and I will be using these cards for the readings. They are oval-shaped cards. You can see, very beautiful. And then I am also going to be bringing back the Lunacy deck, which I had used last week as well. And there are 3 parts to this deck, which is the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. I'm kidding. The first part is the Lunar Mansions. I am still working on learning those. So I'll be using the book for that part. I have the moon phases. And I also have the major arcana of the tarot. So those are all here. I had to pin my hair back on this side so it looks a little bit funny, but it looks less funny than how it was all like flipped out, and I was just very irritated with that. the crystal that I will be using for the scrying over on the members side of the channel is this very beautiful California plasma agate. It has lots of really interesting striations and colors. It's predominantly green, and it makes lots of really cool noises. So if you want any extra messages, I will be going over to the members side of the channel after this and scrying additional messages. These cards are a little bit tricky to shuffle, so I will get started on that. And all of you can relax, start taking some deep breaths, kind of allow yourself to breathe normally, gently, but also imagining that as you inhale, that you are drawing in the divine white light of Source. And then as you exhale, just kind of sigh out any tension, anything that you've been holding on to that you would like to release at this time. And I'm just going to be shuffling these cards, so I have to shuffle them in little batches because I have the smallest, cutest baby hands ever. So in order to make sure that I get all of the cards shuffled appropriately, I have to kind of sort them into stacks. So also kind of bring anything to the forefront of your mind that you might wish to know about during this time. If these things cause you anxiety, just breathe through it. Just release that tension when you exhale. Allow your breaths to be normal and regulated and smooth and soft. And we will be getting into your reading very soon. We're going to start with the sign of Cancer. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A jumper. Ah, yes. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, wow. Okay. We've got 2 10s here in the reading. We've got some cups and we have some discs. We don't have any major arcana, but I am about to pull these other cards as well. Oh, good. I haven't gotten that one yet. This one? Yes. Okay. So, snag my Mansions of the Moon book in case I need it. Cancer, for your reading today, we have Pisces Sophia is the Empress card in this deck. She is the one who struggled to ascend through the eons, being held back by the archons who were jealous. And this is Dalda, which is also the number 4 in the Coptic alphabet. The Empress is associated with Venus energy and is the divine feminine. And so we're looking at creative energies. And these are the kind of energies that have to be nurtured, that have to be grown slowly over time. It's a very fertility-oriented energy. Can have to do with childbirth, but that's not the totality of this energy. It is the divine feminine. We have first quarter moon. So this is coming out of the new moon. I think today we actually are on the first quarter of the moon. So very appropriate. And we also have the energy of Al-Sarfa here, which is the lunar mansion between Leo and Virgo. It has to do with the tail of the lion, and I believe the star Denebola, which is here in the very tip of the tail. And when we're looking at Al-Sarfa, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up in the book. I'm not ashamed to admit that I am still learning these. So the lord of this mansion, the ruling planet of this mansion, would be Jupiter. It's also associated with Saturn and Venus. It has to do with strife, combat, separation, constriction, hindrance of movement, and conflict. So that definitely goes along with the idea of Pisces Sophia, that she was encumbered by the archons, entrapped by them, and prevented from ascending as she had the right to do. You might be in a similar situation at this time, Cancer. And this would be the very first quarter of this journey for you, the first quarter of this cycle. So, here in the past, we have the 8 of Pentacles upright. That you have these long-term career prospects. This could be multiple streams of income also. It could be, if you are retired, this represents having a very steady and reliable retirement pension plan. And is security, long-term security within your career field, whatever that represents at your stage of life. This card is upright, so this is not something that had happened in the past and is no longer. This is something that began in the past and is continuing into the present situation. And here in the current situation, this was the card that jumped out. It is the 4 of Cups. And you can see that what she really wants is back here. She doesn't see it yet. She's mostly contemplating here in the foreground these cups that are before her, but is in the process of examining and evaluating these options. The option that she really wants, though, is back here and might be just about to open up for you, Cancer. We have here also the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is a card about the way that money ebbs and flows in our lives. So, such that sometimes we are giving and are very generous to other people. Sometimes we are receiving that generosity from others, and that there is a balance there. So, the Six of Pentacles would be an evolution of the energy of the Two of Pentacles, where we're bringing things to balance as though they are on a scale. Down here in the Imam Silai, so I like to imagine that there's 12 houses laid out on top of the Celtic cross spread. And down at the very nadir of this chart, the cusp of the third and fourth houses is considered the Imam Silai. And the significance of this is that it is in opposition to the midheaven, and that anything that is going on adjacent to the Imam Silai is representative of the origins of your destiny, what ends up happening in the future, and the foundations upon which that will be built. And in this position, we have the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is about burdens and oppression. And because this card is in the upright, I think we're very much talking about these energies that came out. That there is a certain amount of oppression going on in your life right now, Cancer, of some kind. Sometimes these are situational things. Sometimes it's got to do with work. Sometimes it has to do with other factors. It can be family. It can be a relationship that's not going particularly well. It can be figures of authority as well. So these energies together, it looks like things are pretty good. You do have some options opening up, and there is a good exchange and flow of money in your life right now, Cancer. Remember that we have this Eight of Pentacles in the past, so that might be very stable, but it also might be bringing burdens into your life. These burdens do not particularly look like they are of a financial nature, in that you don't have enough money. That could certainly be true for some of you, but this looks more like a situational burden. Here in the future, we are evolving past the Four of Cups energy and into the Six of Cups energy. So you can see here that this figure is nurturing these children. And the Six of Cups can have to do with childhood. It can be about nostalgia, fond feelings of one's past. And because the Six of Cups is in the future and it's upright, it very well could be something returning to you from the past. Somebody coming back from your past, and possibly in a capacity that would help you move forward. Because the next evolution we have from there, this is the midheaven, and it is going to be the evolution of this energy of the Ten of Wands. And what we have, the two active wands can be kind of harsh in them, or the two active tens rather, Beg your pardon. So the active tens are going to be the 10 of wands and the 10 of swords, and these are very harsh energies. And then we have the two passive tens. That is the 10 of cups and the 10 of pentacles. Those are both quite good. They're excellent energies for establishment of family life, of legacy wealth, things like that. So what we have in the midheaven for you, Cancer, is this 10 of cups in the reverse, such that the potential will be there for you in the future for these cups to come into your life. That is emotional satiety, emotional completion. That possibility is there. It's going to depend on how you deal with all of the factors currently affecting you. And it might have something to do with how you interact with this person from your past as well. But I do see these burdens eventually passing for you. So that will be good. Thank you, Cancer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is going to conclude your reading for today. And we'll be moving on now to the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, Scorpio. So I want to make sure I'm writing down my timestamps. And again, Scorpio, if you would, just kind of relax. Sigh out any tension that you're feeling. Allow it to melt from your body. But do allow any things that you would like to know about to float gently into the forefront of your thoughts. Just allow them to sit there and wait patiently as I shuffle the cards, such that we will be able to address them very shortly. Very shortly. You can take some regular, deep, and gentle breaths. Just very soft. Nothing harsh about them. Allow them to kind of wash over you like the divine light of source. And I will be done shuffling your cards just shortly. Just shortly. Thank you for your patience. Interesting, interesting. Interesting reading so far, Scorpio. So far, so good. So far, so good. How is everyone today? Oh, wonderful. All right. And then finally, yes, perfect. All right. So, Scorpio, actually, I'm going to update your timestamp. Scorpio, the cards that I have for you to start out the reading, we're looking at waxing crescent energy. So, what this means is that a cycle has just renewed itself, that there is a growing energy in regards to this cycle. The new cycle has just begun. We have the Sun card. Excuse me, I call it Ray. This is the letter Sima, and the value of that letter is 200. The Sun card is a card of success. It is a card of the light of the sun, so very fertile, allowing photosynthesis and growth, and overall, generally, a very good energy. So we're starting to have more and more of this light energy accumulating with this cycle. And the lunar mansion that we have is Saad al-Bula, and that is the fortune of good fortune of the swallower, or fortune of the glutton. So it has to do with a devouring force, swallowing up, devastation, wasting, decrease, and diminishment. But it's auspicious for things like divorce, freeing captives, and for healing the sick. And the indicator star is called Al-Bali, Epsilon Aquarii. So let me see if I can see it here. I think it's here in the hand. I guess that Aquarius is holding a stick, technically speaking. And I think that Epsilon is one of the stars here in the hand. So we have these cards about gradual increase, but we also have this card of decrease. So perhaps there has been a period of strife, and a lot of these issues are being resolved and are being cleared out of your life at this time. That is a possibility. So here in the past for you, Scorpio, we have the Three of Cups showing up in the upright. This is a card of hanging out with friends. This is a card of close alliances. And because this card is upright, we can see that these close friendships, close, loyal ties to other people, this is continuing on into the present period and will be an asset to you at this time. Oh, he's back. Interesting choice. So here in the current situation, the significator for you is the Page of Cups. This is an offer. This can be a romantic offer, but it can also be a job offer. The Page of Cups in general is just an offering. It could even be a gift of some kind. And this is being crossed by the Queen of Pentacles energy. Fertile proliferation in regards to finances. Growing material things from the soil. So, Queen of Pentacles is very similar in some ways to the Empress energy, but there are a few key differences. Down here in the Imam Silai. So the Imam Silai is kind of the nadir of the 12 houses chart that I imagine is laid out on top of my Celtic cross spread. And this would be the cusp of the 3rd and 4th houses. And this represents all of the foundations upon which what we look at in the midheaven position, the future events, what all those future events will be based upon. And we do have the High Priestess showing up here. The High Priestess is aligned with the moon's energy very closely. So we've got both of our luminaries represented here. We've got the sun energy, and we have the moon energy here with the High Priestess, reflecting the light of the sun. The High Priestess can be about secrets, can be about secrets exposed, can be about hidden knowledge, can also be about solitary existence, solitary and autonomous. The High Priestess and the Hermit are very similar. And this card being in the upright, it could be Scorpio, that at this time you have a lot of answers, perhaps answers that other people need, perhaps answers that you yourself require. Gosh, I'm not sure what that sound is. That's a new one. And it could be in relation to this situation, even, where we have this offer. Perhaps you know that this offer is coming. And it could have to do with money because the Queen of Pentacles is there. Here in the future, we have the Nine of Swords reversed. So there could be a few ways to read this. This could be leaving behind anxieties. It could be the potential for anxiety in the future as well. But the Nine of Swords, it also could be a period of sleeplessness in the future. So that's another potential for this energy. But the Nine of Swords is very much about one's internal states. So the way that one feels has to do with this anxiety, with overthinking things, possible insomnia, possible sleeping to avoid issues that one doesn't want to deal with. And because this is in the future, I think it's reminding you more than anything else not to worry, because you do have all of the information that you need at this time. And you don't need anything outside of yourself, even though you do have a support group you can lean on if you need to. And finally, with this, we have the Knight of Pentacles in the midheaven. So, because you had this foresight and knowledge, this money is going to be coming into you quickly. That will be the outcome of this. One thing I'm also thinking of here in regards to this Nine of Swords is how we have the good fortune of the Devourer here, so that perhaps any anxieties that you did have are being swallowed up and will no longer be relevant to you in the future. Scorpio, thank you so much for joining me for your reading today. I hope that you enjoyed it greatly. And now we are going to be moving on to the sign of Pisces. Pisces, 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 Pisces. So I'm just going to shuffle your cards, Pisces. And if you would like to take some nice, gentle, deep breaths, allow yourself to relax. Imagine that with every breath inhaled, you are filling your body from the very top of the crown of your head down through the soles of your feet, that you are filling your entire self with the divine white light of Source. And that as you breathe out and exhale, you are then releasing back to that same divine source any nervous energy, any anxiety, any negativity that you have been holding on to be transmuted back into pure, loving light. Allow anything that you are concerned about, anything you would like to get answers for, to float and hover, Pisces, in the forefront of your mind at this time, so that we can address it during this reading. And I will be done shuffling your cards very soon, I promise. This deck takes a little bit of extra finagling, so I do apologize for that. But I do really like these cards. The backs are really beautiful. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. That makes sense. We have a card of pure elemental water coming out for you. We do have a couple of cups also. Let me turn these over. Okay. So now pull the cards from the lunacy deck. The last quarter moon. That is today's lunar mansion. Very interesting. and one of these major arcana cards. All right. Pisces, the major arcana card that I pulled for you is Judgment. So this is a fire elemental energy card. This is Tau. The value is 300. This card is the Judgment card. I call it Crisis. I did make some changes in the deck for greater resonance with my own energies. And it is also a Plutonian energy, so an energy of transformation. Judgment is actually the transformative properties of fire, trial by fire. You can see this person playing a harp in a bonfire, and these eyes kind of weighing down upon them, judging them. This can be evaluation. It can mean that you're being tested also. It can be about your transcendence to another state of being also. This is the last quarter moon. So we're talking about a waning energy in which the reflected light is slowly fading away. So coming to the end of that energetic cycle. And we have here today's lunar mansion, which is today's lunar mansion on the day that I am doing the reading. On February 7th, the lunar mansion is Aldebaran, and this is inside the constellation of Taurus. And the planet Aldebaran, the star Aldebaran is located here, kind of close to the eye of Taurus there. It means the follower, and what it's referring to is the idea that the star Aldebaran is following the Pleiades, which is the indicator for the previous lunar mansion, Althariah, the many little ones. So where we're talking about the fourth lunar mansion, Aldebaran, this has to do with discord, enmity, chaotic substance, ill will, and hindrance. So you very well could be Pisces, judged at this time. Let me just write down these timestamps so I don't forget them. All right. So, the past. We have the Hanged Woman, and this card is upright. So the Hanged Man, Hanged Woman card is the inverse in some ways of the properties of the World card. The World card deals with elemental earth, and the Hanged Woman deals with elemental water. So this could also be seen, as aligned with your sign of Pisces. The Hanged Woman is somebody who is self-sacrificing as a form of higher spiritual enlightenment. Oh, are we back? So it could be for spiritual enlightenment purposes, or you could be self-sacrificing because you feel like it is better for others that you do so. It's also a card of stasis. So a lot of us have felt like we were in suspension for the past couple years, and this could be an extension of that. This is an energy that is carrying into the current environment. So, what we have in the place of the significator is the Two of Wands. This card is upright. It is a card of planning. It's a card of vision board exercises. If you're going on a trip, you pull out your map and you start connecting the dots, right? So all of those things having to do with the Two of Wands. This is all about your planning process. And this card is in the upright. So I feel like you are probably looking forward to the future and doing a lot of planning right now, especially if you feel like you can't really do anything else. This is crossed by the Five of Cups. So there is disappointment and sorrow associated with this particular period, that you feel like things are slipping away from you, perhaps because you're not really able to engage in the activities that you would like to right now. But you're able to plan for them, and that is important. Down here in the Imam Silai, this is the energy down here at the nadir of the 12 houses wheel, where we're dealing with the cusp between the third and fourth houses that has to do with all of the environmental factors and activities in the current situation that are going to be leading to what happens in your destiny up here when we look at the midheaven, which is at the top of the chart, the cusp of the 9th and 10th houses. Down here in the Imam Silai, we have the Page of Wands. And this indeed is a card of not wanting to begin things, not wanting to take action on things. Pages are kind of an immature energy, but they can also be new beginnings. The Wands has to do with creative force. The Page of Wands in the reverse like this, if this is dealing with your love life, can also show somebody who is not very serious and kind of either just wants to hook up, or in the reverse like this, might not be interested in you physically. So if you're coming here for love advice, that is what I would tell you about this card in particular. Because we have the Two of Wands here, this Page of Wands reversed also, that in order to get to that Three of Wands, which would then show that things are coming back to you, the energies that you've put out have come back to you, that you need to be more proactive, be more enthusiastic. This is kind of just a lot of talk, and this tells us that for sure. And who can really blame you? I mean, there has been a lot of disappointment and a lot of feeling stuck associated with the past couple of years, but that's not the totality of any situation. So here in the future, we have the Seven of Cups coming out reversed. The potential is there for a myriad of new options to open up for you, Pisces, that all of these things will become possible, whether that's good or bad. But again, it's really going to depend on how you react and how you proact in this particular period of time. Because up here in the midheaven position, we do have the Five of Pentacles. And this is not a particularly positive card to get for the outcome, I do admit. This card is in the upright. It's about being left out in the cold. It's about feeling like you've been forgotten, perhaps. It's very similar to this Five of Cups energy. So, regardless of what you do, perhaps in this period of time, there is still going to be some of this feeling of lack and this feeling of being left out in the cold and the disappointments and stagnancy that you feel because of that. So we have these two fives coming out, and they are the passive fives. We have the Five of Pentacles here, that's earth energy, and the Five of Cups here, that is water energy. And because both of those are more passive, we don't have the same drive behind them as the Five of Wands or the Five of Swords. And so there tends to be more of a feeling of not being in control of that situation. Because this card is showing up in the upright, in the future position, this is more like a predestined energy, such that when the cards are reversed, the potential is there, but it's up to you to tap into it. I would invite you, even though some of these options seem a little bit scary, Pisces, not to be afraid of them, but just to try them out. Try out a few different things. This does seem like a time where you would benefit from trial and error. We do have the Judgment energy can be very volatile, but it is also a wonderful opportunity to embrace change. It is antithetical to your own elemental energy. We do see that because the Hanged Man, or Hanged Woman in this case, is more closely aligned to your elemental energy of water, Pisces, that it might be a little difficult for you to change your tune like this. And in fact, I think that's exactly why this Page of Wands is showing up reversed. But if you know this disappointment to be the inevitable outcome anyway, perhaps then you'll be freed up to explore other things in the meantime. And this will not be a permanent situation for you, regardless. We do have some strife. We do have a lot of turmoil. And I think that sometimes the temptation, rather than to act during this time, is to take a step back and allow everything else to settle down. But in fact, there's a lot of potential for growth and movement within that time, even if it doesn't last. Hi, Agris. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you. So that is my advice for you, Pisces. And now I will be closing up this particular session of tarot readings. I would like to thank all of you who came out. I will be putting timestamps down below in the description box for each of the 3 water signs that I read for today. Hi, Super Queen Bee. It's good to see you. I'm actually about to sign off, but you can watch the rebroadcast, and I will put the timestamps on there. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.